First, thanks for joining us today for these FAQs on CastCotta. Mike Edison has joined us and will be answering the questions that we have. For those of you that currently specify or use CastCotta, we'd like to thank you for the business. For those of you that have never heard of CastCotta or basically was wondering what it's all about, I think these few questions will give you some insight as to what it's all about. And you can most likely reach us and get further information either at my website, which is www.conspec-rep.com, or go direct to the CastCotta site, which is www.CastCotta.com. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
First question, Mike, the obvious one, what is CastCotta?
So CastCotta is a trademark name that applies to a collection of materials that Edison Coatings has been producing for repair of terracotta and stone for over 40 years. And relatively recently, it was a marketing undertaking to promote this collection of materials under the CastCotta name as an alternative system to replacement in kind.
Okay. When and where was the first application of this concept being a form and function equivalent to terracotta?
So the earliest applications for Custom System 45 as a formed replacement was actually in sandstone projects. And there were quite a number of those in the early to mid 80s. The repair of terracotta has been ongoing since the early 80s. I would say the first significant application of precast units produced from Custom System 45 terracotta repair mortars dates back to 2003 and a project in Honolulu, Hawaii, where the original scope of work was to repair some terracotta columns on a courthouse and post office. And they were in too poor of a condition to be repaired. And so replacement units were cast on site using the Custom System 45 and the aquathane finishes that were color matched for the repairs on the same building. And so I guess that gives us about 20 years in what is the equivalent of what is being done as CastCotta today.
I appreciate it. Now that the name of CastCotta has been trademarked, which is only within the past couple of years, what has its acceptance been like?
There's been a tremendous interest in the system. Millions of dollars of quotations have been produced. Quite a few significant projects have already been undertaken and completed, and there are a lot more in the pipeline.
Yeah, in fact, I think the first year there was over $1 million in sales, and we're looking at $2 to $3 million in sales this year. We're also getting quite far afield in that we're going down to places like North and South Carolina, and we're also going out to the Midwest. All right. Has CastCotta been reviewed by and used on select New York City landmark projects?
I'm aware of at least a half a dozen landmarks projects where CastCotta has been submitted and accepted. And the work has been done. It's beautiful and very difficult to distinguish from in-kind replacement with terracotta.
Yeah, I'd just like to add so that there's no confusion. Landmarks does not approve anything. What we have done is we've had material submitted to Landmarks for specific applications, and the under 6 stories rule is still sacrosanct for terracotta, but above 6 stories is where we've had our greatest success. As close formulations of Edison's coatings 45 are used for terracotta patching and the coatings for the CastCotta, can we expect similar performance?
We can. Essentially, these are the same systems that have been in use for over 40 years now. And we go back to revisit many of those original applications, and they're generally in excellent condition.
It sort of jumps the gun on my next and last question, but it says, is it true that Custom System 45 terracotta repairs remain in excellent condition even after 40 years?
Yes, so I know that one of the first large applications of Custom System 45 in the terracotta restoration was a significant project in Pittsburgh, which was completed in 1986. And a couple of years ago, I had the occasion to go back to revisit that project with the contractor who performed that work 37 years ago, and the repairs were still in excellent condition.
That's great. Those are all the questions I have. Mike, do you have any other comments?
I think that as a substitute material, there are some advantages to the CastCotta system, even over original terracotta. And in particular, it's got a much lower water absorption and a very positive vapor permeability property, so that when we're installing these replacement units into wall assemblies that are already wet, there's a lot less stress that's going to go into those replacement CastCotta units than would go into a glazed terracotta, which is basically going to be a barrier to all that moisture.
Yeah. I can't believe the one question I didn't ask, and I'll just put it in here for the end, is CastCotta is a material that can be produced and delivered in 6 to 8 weeks from shops and color. So on that, I'd like to thank everybody. And again, several places where you can reach out to us. And if you want to call me direct, you can call me at 203-467-4426. Mike, thank you very much.
My pleasure.